welcome to the Paper Snob. Today I'm working on the Iron Crafter Challenge hop that I host on my YouTube channel and in my Facebook community group. If you are interested in participating in the Iron Crafter Challenge hop, there's a link to my Facebook community group in my description box. Click that link and then answer those membership questions and I will add you to the group. I post every month's hops. There's 3 that I host on my Facebook community group. I post them in the events section that you can find at the tab at the top of the group, and anybody is welcome to join. If you only do Instagram, we have only Instagram participants too, so love to have you join in. I am also doing off the board with pineapple papers today, and we have this image here for our prompt. Fridays are fashion prompts, and that is an image chosen by, I believe, MK and Janet for Mixed Media Mayhem on their group. So this layout will be for all 3 hops. So let's go back to Iron Crafter Challenge. Every month I challenge us to use a product. Most of the time it's a type of embellishment. This month it is punches, in case you didn't figure that out. And we're going to make some embellishments with these punches because once upon a time, when I was a brand new scrapbooker, I had all of the punches, and punch art was a very big deal back then. And so I created a lot of my embellishments by hand so that I would have things to put on my pages because 1, there wasn't a whole lot of product available. 2, I didn't shop online to get from other places very often. And 3, money was a huge deterrent. So if that's you, you will probably remember that as well. So I've got several punches here. I've got 3 heart punches, 2 circle punches, a leaf punch, and a border punch. I have my photo of my friend and I. She comes to visit me when she can, and kind of owe her a visit myself, but someday I will go over and I will stay a weekend at her house. That would be an absolute blast. So I have product from my mixed box of counterfeit kits, and there's just kind of a mishmash of stuff here, plus the papers. I've got scraps and all kinds of things here to play with. I also brought in a color cast title that says Forever Friends. It's perfect for this layout, perfect for this photo, and matches the colors I chose very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media on my white cardstock background, and then we're going to work on some punch art, and then we'll put a layout together. I'll be right back. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to add a little bit of mixed media by using the smushing technique with packaging and this Prima, I think it's called Black Tulip spray, kind of matches my pattern papers just a little bit and allows me to bring out that color from the photos and the pattern papers that I chose. I think this is one of the easiest ways to add mixed media to your pages. It's simple, it's not as messy as it could be, although it's pretty messy. Next up, I'm going to use this border punch to create a scallop. And the scallop came from our prompt today, which was that beautiful, gauzy, ruffly dress that I showed you at the beginning of the video. I'll pop that up here again in a minute so that you can look again. I saw ruffles on the dress and decided that that reminded me of scallops. So that is where I'm taking my inspiration from for Mixed Media Mayhem and Off the Board with Pineapple Papers. Those prompts coincide for today because MK and Janet love us and they made it very easy to participate in this hop with Mixed Media Mayhem. So I've got my punched borders here and I'm just kind of punching two of them. There's going to be two borders. I will flip this piece here to the other side. Initially, I intended to use the chevron side of this pattern paper, but when I go to glue it down, I decide that I like the back side better. This is a piece of pattern paper from My Mind's Eye. I believe it was their collectible collection. It's a gorgeous collection back when My Mind's Eye had beautifully thick, wonderful paper, and this is actually textured, kind of like the Carta Bella paper that you can get now. It's a textured pattern paper. I adore this pattern paper, and I've got several of their collections that I've been hoarding forever. So when I had the chance to build a kit back, I believe in February or March, I made sure to build a kit with my Mind's Eye paper because I need to start using that loveliness up and making room for the other loveliness that keeps appearing in my scrapbook space. You know, these manufacturers need to cut it out. We're going to be permanently broke and out of space if they keep putting out such gorgeous papers. So I've got two borders. Now I'm going to use these heart punches to make some flowers. Now I am going to use 4 hearts for each flower, and I'm going to layer a smaller heart on top of them as well. This is just one of the things that I used to do when, again, I think I said it at the beginning of the video, when I didn't have a whole lot of embellishments. I used to just make all of my own embellishments. So that is kind of what I am falling back on here with this Hop and Iron Crafter challenge. I'm making embellishments and designs with my punches. I love using punches. I have basically the basic ones, and yes, I also have a silhouette cameo that I could definitely cut shapes with, but honestly I find using punches and dies better for smaller papers. I think the silhouette is great for large papers, but when we start getting to smaller scraps, I would rather just use a die or a punch. So I am just layering these up, and you kind of get a rounded square flower. I'm going to layer another set on top, the smaller ones here, and I will make a few of these here on camera. The rest I will make off camera because otherwise this video will be way too long, and I value your time as much as I value mine, so I don't want to overstay my welcome in your life today by having an incredibly long video. Now, the glue in that Nouveau bottle for my glue press is actually not Nouveau. It is Perfect Paper adhesive, and it is an adhesive that I like to use if I want things to stay forever. It takes a long time to get tacky, and I tend to use it for things like mixed media canvases, or if I do a layout where I'm doing a lot of glue and heavy chipboard and gesso and paints and stuff, I will use this glue because it is a very strong glue. But like I said, it takes a while for it to get tacky, and I believe when I moved to off camera, I switched to my favorite liquid glue, which is the quick dry Scotch adhesive, because it's tacky a lot sooner, and I was able to manipulate the flowers a lot better. So I'm going to use the big heart to make the next flower. I think I end up making 3 of every size plus a couple really small ones that I don't layer up as much. I did try to dress these up with Nouveau drops, and as they were drying, I did not like that, so I don't end up using the flowers that I put Nouveau on because they just didn't turn out great. The only ones that I saved were the really, really tiny ones where I outlined the center circle with Nouveau, and I used both of those flowers. But you can dress up these flowers any way you like. You know, it would have been really fun would have been to stitch every single heart first and put them together that way, because then you would have some beautiful texture to the flowers. But I didn't do that for this video in the interest of time. That would have taken a very long time, and while I don't normally shy from things that take forever, in this case I really needed to just get this video and this layout done. The other thing you can do is you could have inked the edges of the flowers to make them pretty, or used chalk. Either one of those would also definitely make some beautiful definition. So the next thing that you see me doing here is I'm flipping those petals up to just kind of give them a little bit of texture. It really made a difference in the way that the flowers looked, so I just went with it. And I'm going to do that with this last one, and like I said, I will make the rest of these off camera, and then when I come back to put the layout together, I'll have all of them ready to go. So my background has now dried. I've got all of the flowers that I want to use. I picked up my this little glass jar up here to the upper right hand side. Has these beautiful little, I think they're acrylic flowers, and I'm going to use some of those for centers in each of the flowers just to give a little bit more texture to it. So there's where I flipped over the pattern on the right and used that back pattern. I decided that the chevrons did way too much competing with my photos and embellishments, so that is why I flipped it. I have a label that I pulled out from an Allie Edwards embellishment pack that I had, and now I'm just going to go ahead and start putting this layout together and making decisions on where I want things to go. So now I've switched the bottom set of flowers. I'm going to switch the top set of flowers over to the other side because I want those to go onto opposing sides. And if you notice, I am using my magnets to help hold things down. I adore this glass board studio mat. It is magnetic. I've got, as you can see up at the top, I have several magnets and I really like them. I chose the smaller magnets mostly because I have small hands, and I thought that if I got the bigger ones that maybe I wouldn't be able to manipulate them as well as I can with the small ones. So I chose the small ones. These magnets are awesome. And so I think I ended up with 16 magnets in total. And so they're not all sitting up there. I've got some on a magnetic board that's you can't see off camera. I've got a turntable or it's a spinny thing that I keep tools and stuff in. That's sitting across from me, and on one side of it, it's a square. It has a magnetic, or it has a piece of metal sheeting, and I use that to hold several things. I've got some little magnetic back containers that I keep various little things in, and it just helps keep things organized and off my desk. So I'm pretty happy with where I've got things lying right here. And I pulled off that piece of chipboard that has BFF. I'm very lucky. I have several BFFs, and this lady is one of my most special BFFs. They're all special, but I've known her the longest and have spent a lot of time with her in person. I don't just know her online, which is awesome. She came to visit me at my house at Fort Campbell, and I haven't seen her since this visit, but it was an amazing visit. We had a good time. We both scrapbook, and that's how we met, online in a scrapbooking forum for Scrap Goods Kit Club. So I just wanted to do a nice layout of me and my friend and showcase my Iron Crafter challenge. So as you can see, I am using Nuvo drops to add some enamel dot style elements to my page, and then I've grabbed this little stickles to kind of do the same thing. And these are things that I find that I don't use enough, and I thought I would use them more, so. All right, I got this layout completely done. I added some stickles and some Nuvo drops on here, as you saw, to just kind of round out my design here. I think I should add some more Nuvo here. I feel like I don't grab my Nuvo often enough, so it's kind of fun to go ahead and grab these and play with them once in a while. And the stickles, some of these stickles, this is one of my oldest ones. I only know that because I had magnets on the bottom of them at one point, and I had a baking sheet hanging off a shelf, and they hung upside down from that baking sheet, and that was how I stored them. Now I have the little scrapbook.com trays that I use instead. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. Make sure that you check out my description box below for Instagram participants. We have some amazing creators that participate in this hop, both on Instagram and YouTube. The YouTube videos will all be linked below in that playlist. And again, if you are wanting to join in for August's Iron Crafter Challenge, I will be posting those August challenges probably towards the end of this week, maybe even into Monday. I usually like to make sure that all 3 of my hops are completely finished before I go ahead and post the next month's hops. That way there's no confusion on there on my group. So make sure, if you want to participate, just ask to become a member of my group, answer those membership questions, and agree to those group rules, and I will add you as a new friend. And I look forward to having you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to watch my channel. If you have any comments or questions, just drop those below and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I hope that you have a great rest of your Friday. Bye.